Okay, good morning. So what we're going to do today is a Pilates / weights session for shoulder rehab. So shoulder injuries come in many different forms, but we're just going to do a kind of generic strengthening the cuff, strengthening the upper traps, strengthening around the shoulder blades, and thoracic mobility. Some of the key problems, I suppose, we see in shoulder injuries. So we're going to start on our sides and we're going to warm up by doing a little bit of thoracic mobility. But if you can, pause the video and grab some weights. If you don't have weights, grab a couple of tins of beans, that sort of thing. And we've got some theraband and foam roller. Probably a towel would be a good idea, or a cushion. And if you don't have a foam roller, just roll up a towel, big towel, and if you don't have a theraband, don't worry too much about it. Okay, so we're on our side for some book opens. So we're going to line our shoulders, pelvis, hip and ankles all up in one line. Nice long side body, okay, and then arms out in front. Ideally have your head resting on a pillow, okay, and then you're going to breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, return to center, and breathe out. Breathe in, you can bring the hands all the way back, and breathe out. And breathe in. So we're rotating through the spine here, breathe out. Getting a nice twist through the mid-back and a little bit of extension through the mid-back. And breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. Just two more here. And breathe out. And breathe out. And then you're going to swap sides. I'm going to grab the cushion from my head. So breathing in and breathing out. So there's two ways that you can kind of do the exercise. I like where you slide the hand back and elbow back and then open out. Keep your eyes on your fingertips, or what you can do is you can open the arm up, still keep your eyes on your fingertips and open out. So you're sliding along or you're raising the arm, either or, whatever feels nicest. But you're breathing out at the end of the movement on the stretch. Breathe in to return and breathe out. Keep the hips steady, keep the side body long, ribs engaged back. And breathe out. And one last one. And breathe out. Okay, and then come into child's pose. So we're just going to stretch out the shoulders. I'm going to go through a couple of variations depending on what your pain level is. So you're going to sit your bottom back and walk your fingertips forwards. You can rest your head down, and that is a stretch for the back of the shoulders, okay? If you want to progress it a little bit further, so if you don't have much pain, you can come up so that your hips are directly above your knees, and then you're going to come down onto your chest and your chin. Now this is a deep, intense stretch. It may not feel like it in the first couple of seconds, but after a few seconds, this is really intense. So I wouldn't advise this one if you've got acute, recent shoulder pain. Only if it's, you know, a general sort of stiff, achy shoulder, then we can go for this one. But if it's really sore and inflamed, we don't want to be doing this. You just want to be sitting in your child's pose, stretching it out nice and easy. And then we're going to come up onto all fours. If you have a foam roller, grab it. You don't necessarily need it. Okay? So you're going to come onto all fours. And you're going to take the back of your hand. Okay? And you're going to place it on the top of the foam roller. And then you're rotating out. So we're getting a stretch here on the back of the shoulder and in the mid-back. So a rotation through the spine, but also a nice little stretch out in the back of the shoulder. So straight arm on the left, then bend the left arm, press through the right hand and keep pressing the palm or the right wrist down into the foam roller or to the ground. So I'll show you it without the foam roller. So you're going to just slide the hand along, and you can even pause here, pressing the right arm down into the mat, and gives a bit more of a stretch. You can lift the arm, you can bring the hand behind, and you can do it as a hold rather than in and out. So whichever way you want. And then what you can do when you can come back in is you can breathe in and reach the arm all the way up. Breathe out, bring it under. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And let's swap sides. Grab my foam roller again. So left hand on top. And stretch under. And breathe in. And out. And breathe in. And out. And then just pause here. Bring the hand back here on the right, looking for the opposite hip crease. You can keep it up, and we're just going to really stretch out through that arm. So press the whole arm down into the ground, shoulders getting a stretch, mid-back's getting a stretch. And back to centre. And then we're going to open up. Inhale, exhale, press away. Inhale, open up. Exhale, press away. Inhale, open up. Exhale, press away. Okay, then we're going to stretch out our pecs and our mid-back into extension, okay? So if you've got a foam roller, you're going to lie along the foam roller. You can have a cushion for your head on the end, okay? Or just wrap up a towel into like a cylinder. Or wrap up your yoga mat, Pilates mat, whatever you have. We're all making do these days, so just make do with whatever you have. But basically you're going to either rest your, so I've got my bum on the floor here and my head on the foam roller. Depends on the length of your foam roller, the length of your spine, but you can be all the way up on the foam roller, head onto a cushion like this. You know, it just varies, okay? So you're going to lie here and you're going to open your arms out into a cactus sort of position. So you're getting a stretch through the pecs. So these are your pecs. And you're giving them a nice stretch out, okay? But you're also getting the back into extension. So a lot of us are around at the computers these days and probably not in the best setup. So that's going to contribute and it's going to shorten the space and draw your shoulders round into a poorer position, meaning that when you lift your arm, you've got less room to lift your arm, and that can cause some problems. So breathe into your side ribs here. You can straighten the arms out. Oh, that gets into it. Just really stretching it out. Take a few minutes. I always tell people who are at desks all day that this is a really nice one to finish the day before you get into bed. Just lying on your foam roller, arms out the side, breathing. Okay, so slowly come up from that, even if you don't want to. Okay, and then get rid of your foam roller, get rid of your cushion for now, and then you're going to come onto your knees, okay? We're going to use our theraband if you have it. If you don't have it, you can just do the exercise without it, okay? But basically what we're doing here is we're activating the cuff, okay? But we're also focusing on control. So when we raise our arms, what you don't want to see happening is movement through the spine. And this often happens as a compensation for shoulder pain or stiffness, so that you bring your spine in to get there. Or it can just because you're really weak through the core and tighten the lats and weaken the back. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to press out into your band so that activates the muscles. Drop your shoulders down and back. Engage your ribs towards your spine and then breathe in, raise the arm up. And that should feel like a stretch at the top. And breathe out to come back down. Breathe in to pause and breathe out to lift. So we're going to do 10 of these. Breathe in to pause, breathe out to come back. And breathe out again to lift. And breathe out. So you're keeping that tension on the band the whole time. You're really waking up the muscle here. If you've got a lot of pain, this might be too much, or just use a looser band, or just raise the arms up and down. So your thumbs are pointing upwards. Oh, yes. So again, if you've got a really acute shoulder, this probably isn't the best exercise. But if you've got more of a sore, ongoing issue, it's really nice. No idea how many I've done now, but we'll do 2 more. Breathing out keeps the ribs engaged back towards the spine. And down. Ugh, that really warms things up, just loosen things around. Arms forwards. Okay, come on to your hands and knees. And we're going to get a little bit of activity through the shoulder blade. So shoulders down and back, ribs engaged, okay? And then you're going to see, can you lift one arm? Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And see, can you lift the opposite arm? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And down. If you want to progress it, you're going to lift one arm and one leg. So you can see here that my shoulder isn't lifting up towards my ears, it's down and back. Engaged through the ribs, so you're getting a lot of warming up and activity through the shoulder blade, okay? And lower down, same thing on the opposite side. And even the arm that lifts, you don't want the shoulder raising all the way up, so keep the shoulders engaged down and back, in towards each other, and ribs lifted. The ribs lifted brings the breastbone back towards the spine, just engages those rhomboids, all the muscles working at the back, and lower down. Collarbones are wide, shoulder blades are down and back, raise the arms. Back of the neck is long, chin is tucked in, and lower down. So shoulders down and back. The creases of your elbows should be facing each other. So your crease is facing in. You can see here my elbow crease wants to rotate forwards. Try and draw it in line with your torso. Keep the back of the neck long, keep the shoulders down, collarbones wide. Chin tucked in. Ribs engaged. Breathing into the belly, you can gently draw the belly button towards the spine to keep that activity in the lower back and the core nice and strong. Last one. Holding it for 10. Okay, so we're going to come onto our side and we're going to either have 2 cushions, one for our head and one for under our arm. Okay, and then we're going to grab a light weight. So a light weight is anything from a bottle of water up to 2 kgs, I would say, and get pretty tired with 2 kgs. So I'd probably start a little bit lighter. But I have 2.3 kgs, so that's what I'm doing, okay? So you're going to lie in that side lying position, nice and long through the torso. You've got your elbow in line with your shoulder, the shoulders down and back, okay? And you're holding the weight in the top arm, and we're going to do external rotation. So we're just going to rotate the arm from neutral back as far as we can and down. Good. So we're going to try and do 3 sets of these. I'm not going to count you through 3 sets, but that's what you're doing. So you can pause the video and do, you know, each side 3 times. And you're looking for between 8 to 15 repetitions. Ideally, to start off, you want to be able to do around the 15 mark, especially if if you've had a lot of pain. But then as it gets, as you get better at it, you want to be doing around 6 to 8 reps, because that's where you're going to get strength training, and you want to be fatigued at 6 to 8 reps. So at the start, fatigue between 12 to 15 reps is really good. And then when you're building up your strength, you want to get fatigue in around the 6 to 8 reps. Okay, so I'm starting to get fatigued. No idea how many I've done, but that's tough, okay? So we're going to swap sides. One for the head, one for the under the arm. So the pillow under the arm, I think, is really important because it puts you into the right position, okay? It puts your shoulder blade in the right position. It puts your cuff on a little bit of a stretch. So we're getting more activity through that rotator cuff, and that's basically what the muscles that we're trying to work here. So nice and slow, always when you're doing your exercises, nice and slow. It increases the time under tension, which increases the load through the muscle. If you do a push-up, it's much easier to do a push-up really quick than really slow, and that's what you want to be thinking about when you're doing these exercises. So your cuff, rotator cuff, is like the core of your shoulder, okay? It's the muscles that help keep the shoulder in the right position, I suppose. And it pre-activates before we do any movement, so it's really important. Ooh, I'm going to get 2 more in, I'd say. So it should feel like a burn towards the end, and you're struggling to get the last 1 or 2 in. I'll get 1 more in. Ooh, really good. For such a small weight activity and small weight, be surprised on how hard that can be. Okay, now we're going to come into some standing weights. Alright, so kick our cushions, kick our stuff out of the way, and we're just going to start with some simple arm raises. So just to 90 degrees and back down. So again, here you're doing your 3 sets to fatigue. Depending on your injury, of course, what sets and reps we give you, but I'm just giving a rough guidance, but you probably want to speak to a physio to get exact numbers and reps and sets and exact exercises for your injury. Another way, really nice way to make this then a full body exercise, because the reality is you rarely use your shoulder in isolation, is to bring in the legs. So you can just bring in a side squat, I think it's called, side lunge. Ooh. and down. Good. Okay, our next exercise then, so we're going to do is a shoulder press sort of exercise. So you're going to bring the weights to your shoulders and then you're going to raise them up overhead and back down. So again, with this you can start for anything from 1 kgs, you know, upwards. Depends on if you're a weightlifter, obviously 1 kgs you'd be laughing at me. Just depends on how injured you are really. And then another really nice way to bring this into a full body exercise is add in your squat. So squat down, press up, lower and up. Okay, I'll do that from the side. And you feel at the exercise, you kind of get to lift a little bit more when you bring in the legs. You're using the glutes, you're using the back muscles, getting more engagement. Really nice. Okay, and then we're going to finish off with some shrugs. So I love shoulder shrugs. A lot of people get shoulder shrugs when they come to see me. So you're going to go for a heavier weight here. I've got 4.5 kgs, but you could go up to, you know, 8, 10 kgs depending on your size and your how you're feeling. But basically, shoulder shrugs is where you're shrugging the shoulders all the way up to the ears and back down. Okay, so shoulders all the way up and all the way down. So this is working your upper traps, mid traps, lower traps a little bit as well, but mostly the upper traps. Our upper traps are then muscles here, okay, and they're always overworking. I don't know anyone that comes into me that isn't overworking their upper traps. So then why are we doing more exercises? But what happens is we overwork them in a shortened position, and we want to shorten and lengthen. Okay, so you want full range of activity here. And if they're overworking, they're tired, fatigued, tight and sore. Okay, so they get weak from doing too much. So really good exercise if you've got neck pain, shoulder pain. Okay, so again, you're doing your 3 sets of 15 a day. Alright, so that's a bit of a basic workout for the shoulder. And probably what will complement it is a neck strengthening sort of one, and a little bit more shoulder blade work that you could do. But that's a nice start, I think, anyway. So see what you think, have a go. If you're having problems with it, you know, maybe you want to consult physio, you can give me a shout if you want. Okay, thank you.